on the trans issue. Jones attacks Charlie for referring to a trans athlete, she writes, as, quote, an abomination, and for calling a trans person, quote, a throbbing middle finger to God. Here is what Charlie said.
The one issue I think that is so against our senses, so against the natural law, and dare I say, a throbbing middle finger to God, is the transgender thing happening in America right now. We are in a church, and so it's important to remember Deuteronomy 22:5, a woman shall not wear a man's garment, nor shall a man put on a woman's cloak. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. You hear that, William Thomas? You're an abomination to God.
Charlie was talking about Leah Thomas, formerly William, who swam with the UPenn's men's team one season and with the women's the next, going from the mid-500s in rank to number one in the United States. 6'2" Leah Thomas, who paraded around the women's locker room, a fully intact male, wearing a tight little women's bathing suit, making the female swimmers visibly uncomfortable, not to mention the times he was naked parading through. Listen to Riley Gaines, who competed against Thomas at the NCAA championships, describe the scene.
The first time that we became aware we would be undressing next to this 6'4", 22-year-old man, fully intact, fully exposing himself, was when we were inches away from said man. These suits that you put on, they're skin tight, they're paper thin. It takes about 15, 20 minutes, your racing suit, to really poke and prod yourself into these suits. 20 minutes of which you're fully exposed. You have your back turned, again, putting on your suit, and all of a sudden you hear a man's voice in that locker room. You turn around, you look up because he's so tall, and there's a 6'4" man undressing, taking off his women's swimsuit and putting on his street clothes.
Wow.
It's feelings of course, it's awkward, it's embarrassing, it's uncomfortable. It was inherent for every girl in that changing space to cover themselves, whether it was with their hand or their clothes or their towels, and to get out as quickly as they could. But I think the best way to describe how we felt was, it was an utter violation. It felt like betrayal. And really, it was traumatic.
That's Leah, formerly Will Thomas. That's what he put her and other girls through. Leah Thomas, who bragged about stealing women's medals and stood by as his University of Pennsylvania, told the women who complained on the swim team that they needed to get therapy if they didn't like it. He was fine with that. Whose social media posts, as unearthed by the Daily Wire, show cartoon figures of a girl in a dress with an erect penis, of a girl with breasts and an erect penis hugging another figure with an erection, that show Leah pushing for money for a trans surgery on what appears to be Leah's boyfriend, a male posing as a female seeking a breast augmentation, and which also show Leah depicted as a demonic, complete with devil horns, dominatrix. What about this exactly is not an abomination to God? Once again, though, while Leah Thomas had earned Charlie's well-founded scorn, Charlie's treatment of trans and gay people he interacted with was uniformly kind. Watch.
I do not have hate for a group. I do not have hate for a people.
So you do not hate the LGBT community, and Turning Point is not against LGBT.
No, how could I hate that which I have a heart for?
Thank you.
And I might not agree at that for some of the lifestyle choices that some people make, but of course not.
I just want to say I'm a transgender male.
Are you comfortable telling me your story?
I've known that since like third grade, and I'm currently 19, almost 20. I didn't start going by like a different name until 7th and 8th grade. I just don't know, like, with the whole medical stuff, like what's true, what's not, what's helpful.
First of all, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going to have an opinion that very few people will ever tell you, which is I want you to be very cautious putting drugs into your system in the pursuit of changing your body. Mm-hmm. I instead encourage you to work on what's going on in your brain first. I think what you need first and foremost is just a diagnosis. Mm-hmm. Just someone that is going to listen to what you've gone through, listen to what else is going on. My prayer for you, I actually want to see you be comfortable in how you were born. I think that is something that you can achieve. I think that with the right team and the right people, you don't have to wage war on your body. You can learn to love your body.
Look at this exchange he had with one young man who wanted gays out of the MAGA movement.
Let me ask you a question. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir.
So are you a proud Trump supporter?
Of course.
So are you sickened that he had a gay man speak at his convention?
Yes.
Then you're not a Trump supporter, my friend. Thank you very much. I just want to go through the list. Guy Benson, no place in the conservative movement. Dave Rubin, no place in the conservative movement. Peter Thiel, no place in the conservative movement. So that just to go down the list.
If they are supporting open homosexuality.
So
yeah, no
I'm going to ask a very respectful question, as respectfully as I can. What does what they do in their private life concern you so much that you have to go up in front of a crowd? And
it is against God. That is
so.
why.
Let me ask
Are
you
you
a
a
question.
Christian or not?
Do we live in a theocracy? Yes or no? No. Do we live in a theocracy?
You said you're a Christian.
I am a Christian. And do you know what? And guess what? I will say this. Part of being a Christian is appropriately interpreting what the theological says for the individual, but also means to be long-suffering and patient and loving and kind. Jesus Christ talked to all people. Jesus Christ went and did his ministry through Judea and Samaria, and he had dinner with tax collectors, and he had dinner with prostitutes, and he did his ministry in every part of the Mediterranean. What it means to be a Christian, my friend, is to be open-minded but firm in your beliefs, so you can have that belief. But if you say there's something inherently wrong with communicating or associating just because they make different personal decisions than you, sir, are not a conservative. Thanks for being here tonight.
You won't see any of this mentioned in the New York Times. Nicole Hannah-Jones's goal was not honesty. It was to make you hate Charlie and render toxic the Turning Point brand. Jones offers a litany of snippets from Charlie's conversations, grabbing without context a random sample of his thoughts, putting aside how unfair this is to anyone who speaks on the radio for 2 or 3 hours a day in free-form, loose, think-out-loud discussions. The intentionality of Jones's deception is apparent over and over again.